too. It's about mentality. The Bible says it is with the mind that we serve the Lord. It is with the mind that we serve the Lord. This amazing piece of hard drive that God put in between our ears and is so programmable and so impressionable that there is a constant war between good and evil for the code to be able to program your mind. There's a constant war, constant conflict going on as to who gets into your database and who is going to program your mind. Because all that you will do or not do, have or not have, accomplish or not accomplish, will be a direct derivative of what's going on inside your mind. For it says, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Your thinking has all the world to do with where you are. Your attitude has all the world to do with your altitude. So if you don't get clear thinking on an issue, you won't be able to develop in that area. I told you last week that the Apostle Paul said, when I was a child, I thought, I spake, and I understood as a child. So maturing into manhood is about mentality. Images in our mind, we generally think in terms of sin. But I want to challenge you to understand that you have more to deal with in the warfare in your mind than just sin. You have depression, you have fear, you have phobias, you have insecurities, you have unbeliefs. There are a whole lot of dysfunctional behaviors that were inherently passed on to us in the fall of Adam that were a result of sin, but these are the reverberating consequences of an act of sin that leave you struggling in areas that people cannot see. That's why marriages are so difficult. It's a lot of people who are controlled by a Pharaoh. They're prisoners in life, they're prisoners in relationships, they're prisoners in ideas. They are enslaved to a system from which they cannot be liberated, and they need a liberator, a Moses. Our New Testament Moses is Jesus, that liberates us and sets us free. But freedom, my brothers and sisters, begins in the mind. Freedom begins in the mind. You can be free physically and not be free mentally. One of the great side effects that we struggle through, our people struggle through as a culture, is to embrace the internal freedom that we have externally so that we can go beyond barriers that seem to be fixed in our mind even when the door is open. I've seen people with open doors and never go through them. I've seen people stuck in ghettos and thinking about life, and what they're talking about is life in the ghetto. But they think that it's the whole world, and they say they can't get out, and there are no bars holding them, and they're not handcuffed, and they're not chained. They're not chained physically, but they're chained mentally. That's why if you can't afford to get your children out of ghetto, drive them out, take them on a visit, let them see that there's a world outside of the circumstances you're in, so that their thinking can be evolved and become big enough to embrace all that God has for them. The real challenge is getting my mind free. As I'm free in my mind, I can change my circumstances. The prodigal son is clear evidence of this. He was in the hog pen. He was broke. He had lost everything. He was deranged and deprived and distraught. But the Bible said he came to himself in this deplorable situation. He came to himself. He didn't get any money in the mail. He didn't meet any fine person that built up his self-esteem. This was an inside job. He came to himself, said, wait a minute, I'm better than this. How many servants in my father's house have bread enough and to spare? I perish here with hunger. I will arise and go to my father's house. And the moment he made up his mind to get up, he got up. And I want to tell you something today. The moment you make up your mind to get up, you can get up. And no devil in hell, no system, no government, no power, no boss, no community, or anything else can hold you. Once you are free in your mind, you are free. Lay your hand on your head. Say, this is an awesome machine. I wonder if it's being underutilized. God may be giving you more to work with than what you are working with at this time. You may have far more megabytes and more things that you can potentially do than what you're doing right now. That's why I don't like to hang with low-thinking people, because they'll make you underutilize what God has given you. You need somebody to challenge you that you could be doing more than what you're doing right now. You could have more than you have right now. You could go further than you're going right now. And somebody's got to be bold enough to look you in the face and empower you to go into the enemy's camp and take back what he stole from you.